Awesome. Well, hi everyone. I'm Katie, product manager at InspectPoint, and today we're really excited to have Amy Gorbet joining us from Advantage Fire Protection Systems in Blue Springs, Missouri. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was actually looking over your account history with us today, and it looks like you guys just signed up with InspectPoint almost exactly 1 year ago.
That's
So
probably correct.
happy
Yep, that's how long I've been here.
anniversary. Yeah, so that timing was like a total coincidence, but I thought it was kind of cool since we're talking
Absolutely.
today. Yeah, and we've been really grateful to have you on board as a customer. So the feedback from you and Pam has been really helpful in improving the product. So thank you for that. It
Of
means,
course, we appreciate you guys being receptive to the feedback and making changes as well.
yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your role at Advantage?
Sure. I came on about a year ago. I was actually in the mortgage business and stepped out of it when it kind of took a turn. So I was new to fire protection. And so I came on board to help set up Inspect Point. That was my full responsibility to get it going. Just getting everybody on board with it and working through everything. And so a year later, I am still here and I love it. So it's been awesome. So it's something as far as that's helped our business and streamlining things. And it's just a great process overall.
That's really good to hear. So what was the transition like from working in mortgage to fire protection? What was like that for you?
Completely different business, but it's all customer service. So I'm still talking to people on a daily basis. We have tons of accounts that we probably over 1,000 accounts we deal
Oh,
with. And
wow.
so I've met a lot of, people, and I've always been in the sales industry. So me talking on the phone is nothing new, but the whole industry itself it took me a while to understand it all. And I'm still learning definitely every day.
Yeah. So we have some people on the team, who have deep roots in the industry, and then others like myself are newer. So it's a learning curve, but it's cool to see like how passionate people become about
Oh
it and
yeah.
eager
Guys
to
in the field
learn.
work so hard and put in so many hours, and it's just crazy to see all the behind scenes. I mean, I'm fine with doing all the tech stuff and invoicing and setting up all that stuff, but as far as what they're doing, you won't catch me in the field. So
I get that. So extra props to them, I guess, for
yes,
getting
very
their
much
hands
so.
dirty,
Yep.
right? So can you share a little bit about Advantage's background, how you guys got started, how your business has grown to where it's at today? What's that been like?
Yeah, my Rob Knox, who's actually my brother, started the company, or he didn't start the company. He started in the business 38 years ago as a stock lister, worked his way up in design, sales, superintendent, and then started Advantage Fire Protection in 2006. So it's been a long, growing big company as far as how it's grown. We were, before Inspect Point, we were operating more on a smaller company scale and versus how much he's grown since 2006. So that's one reason why we're grateful for Inspect Point, because it's changed things and the way overall operation happens.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you guys have had a lot of growth in, the
We
past.
have, and I don't, until he came on, I know he realizes he's grown, but until you make these kind of changes, it's very eye-opening. So
Yeah. So were you guys on pen and paper before or different software? What did
we
that look
had a
like?
very low key program. It was a great program and it was used for what it was used for. But as far as now seeing what we have now to that, because I do have to reference back to that a lot to,
Mhm.
get account information and, inspection history and stuff like that. So going back to that, and I wasn't a part of that. So seeing what they used, I don't even know how they survived so long. So they, they came a long ways with Inspect Point, but it worked for them and it got what they needed. And so, but yeah, I don't think we'll ever go back to those old ways. So
Yeah, technology can certainly streamline it.
absolutely,
Yeah, and it takes time to, get people on board, as you said, and get
definitely.
comfortable. So that's always sort of a ramp up. But
It
then,
is. It took me a long time to get the guys on board because, they're
Mhm.
set in their ways. They have been, been doing it a certain way for a long time, and everybody has their way of doing things. So it was very big transition for the technicians to utilize Inspect Point. And honestly, I think if it might be hard for them to admit, but it's probably the best thing that's happened to us. And that transition for them was worth it. Me
Mhm.
being on them all the time and getting used to things was probably worth it, but they won't tell me that.
So yeah, if you had, I guess, advice or suggestions to share with another company about getting, whether it's office staff on board or techs, like what might you say to share some tips?
Change is hard for everybody. I mean, in
Mhm.
any career I've been in, it's always been an adjustment for anybody to make change. So you just have to remember that as you're implementing Inspect Point to the technicians, anybody in the office, that it is an adjustment and just to be patient.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really good advice. Thank you for that. So, what's been most rewarding working at Advantage either for you or in the industry generally?
I think most rewarding is that especially for our company, our techs take their jobs seriously and they're making sure buildings are safe from fire. People don't realize how important fire sprinklers are until, a building's lost, or,
Yeah.
until they have a fire and a building's lost, and it can be detrimental. So I think just knowing that our mission is to make sure that we cover everything and meet guidelines as far as making sure there's no deficiencies and so forth, to make sure that building's safe. Our techs do a great job of that.
Awesome. Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like before you get involved with the industry, you don't really think about everything that goes into
No.
preventing a fire. Like we'll see and hear about, fires on the news when they do unfortunately happen, but there's
Yeah.
not quite much understanding of like everything that's going in for all those buildings that are safe.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So now that I'm in the industry, only been in the year, it's a natural habit for me to look up at ceilings now, because
yes.
did
Yep,
they have paint on those heads?
yeah, that's how we are too. We have a company messaging channel and people are, frequently sending pictures of like crazy deficiencies that they see in the
Yeah.
gym or in hotels or whatever.
Yep.
I just at the gym saw like an extinguisher in a chalk bucket, like rather than on its
Yeah,
mouth.
you don't realize how many rules are broken out there until you've started paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. So lastly, I know you're pretty involved, in Inspect Point. Obviously, you're working on the product every day. Is there a
Mhm.
specific area of the product that's helped, your workflow specifically that you want to just share about?
Overall, I just think just the way it streamlines from inspection to work orders, or if inspection's good, it goes straight to invoicing. So for us, just that step-by-step process is helped us tremendously and been huge and benefiting, keeping track of those work orders, making sure invoices are going out.
Mhm.
It's a continued learning process. And like I said earlier, you guys are great. If we find something that we think would help not only us, other companies too. You guys are amazing about, receiving the feedback, even though we might be hounding you guys a lot. And helping us make those changes, and that ends up being great for everybody.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, customer feedback has made the product what it is today. So we're
Yeah,
always
absolutely.
really appreciative of
Yes.
being vocal and sharing, ideas too, because you are the one working in the product every day, right?
Yes.
And your
Yep.
guys are out in the field, you're in the office. So we
Yeah, and the
really,
techs are great about sharing feedback too. And so and again, you guys are always great in making sure those things happen for them to make their jobs easier too.
yeah. Well, we're so happy to, have been able to talk with you today and hear about Inspect Point. And we're really excited to see Advantage's continued growth as well. So
Thank you. We're grateful to have you guys as our partners.
yeah. Well, thanks again for joining us today and for being part of the Inspect Point family.
Thank you, Katie.